Hello YouTube. Full disclosure, the footage in the last video was not current and I'm sorry that you didn't get to see up until where it is now. I got pretty busy and just really had to get this stuff done before it got cold, but I promise, catch you up to speed right now and we'll just go over what happened in the car since then, and I promise from now forward I will give you current updates. So you saw the trunk section last time. We got that ice on the panels, hit it with a hammer. Anything that didn't come off with the hammer, we just used a chisel and or a flat blade screwdriver works, and a hammer. It really does take it right off. This is, I mean, you could see the texture, but I promise you it's gone, and it was everywhere. I don't know if you remember, it was up here, it was all in here, it was on there. Just from a rough estimate, a seat of the pants, I think we probably did get, 15-20 pounds out of the car. I'm very satisfied with the way it came out. And then after that, just take a piece of 320 grit sandpaper, dry, and you just go over the whole deal. And after that, you go to Home Depot and get some flat black. Covers up a lot. Really looks sharp, actually. I hope the camera is picking this up. Really satisfied with it. Left the headliner alone. Oh, it's so black you can't really see it, but the headliner was in such good shape that I really didn't want to screw with it. I'm gonna definitely leave that alone. I also like the Smurf Dick blue and I guess cream, not cream white, but kind of a, I don't really know how you describe that color, honestly. Really like what they did though. I do have the dash cluster plastics, and they're also painted this white color as well, so we'll be keeping that. Shifter is probably going to be converted to like a sidewinder or ratchet type shifter. The e-brake was removed because we're putting a hydro brake in, as well as proportioning valves. The proportioning valves will be in first, and then later we'll put a hydro brake in. The seats, I know you had seen the seats, you had saw them, whatever, earlier. These are a pair of Momo Corsa T-frame seats I bought off a buddy for $100. They were completely destroyed when I got them, and I went and got a spool of Kevlar thread and a needle. This one was really bad. That one's actually not in terrible shape, but they definitely will work, and they are way lighter than the seats that came in the car originally. They were, oh my god, I mean, it felt like the driver's seat was 100 pounds, and I'm not exaggerating. These ones are super light. You can carry both of them with one arm, really. And again, you can clearly see this one's in better shape. And then took some pieces of aluminum, square aluminum, drilled them, bolts in the seat, and then lag bolts through each corner all the way through to the frame, and there will be gussets on the bottom of where you see those washers. So that'll actually be, in my opinion, stronger than the original seat configuration. I believe the car was painted last time you saw it. It came out good. We did the doors as well, and did the door jams. Did the door jams in the coastal gray as well. I like it. As far as mechanical goes, I took the liberty of removing all of the brake lines that were originally on the car because they were just so trash, and brake lines aren't particularly expensive. So what I did is I removed all those lines. I also took the proportioning valve out, and anybody who doesn't know what that is, it actually slows the rate of flow to the rear brakes such that your rear brakes don't lock up. But as this is going to be a drag car, I just wanted brakes on it, and obviously use the front brakes the most, so it only has front brakes right now. Please don't bitch about that. I will, as I said earlier, be putting in an adjustable valve that is going to be towards the back there. But again, you can just see it's a simple piece of brake line. It's not a big deal. Had a couple unions, and then had some tomfuckery from the soft line to the hard line because these are Fox body components. That's right. The previous owner of the car, for some reason, had Fox body stuff, and he put it on this car. As such, these rotors are actually brand new. They've never been used. You can see that the vents haven't really rusted beyond surface rust. These soft lines, I don't know if you can tell, are actually new. They've never been used, as well as the pad, and the calipers are actually new as well. So all this is new stuff. It does not look like it, but it will clean up, and I will probably wire brush this a little bit and put again some protectorant on it, which also reminds me that in addition to the car itself being completely painted, the underbody of the car is completely sprayed. I don't know about you, but I do not like rust on my projects. I don't want to be driving something and be worrying about it rusting in the future. It's just not something that I'm keen on. I like my stuff to last if I'm going to put the time into it. Also too, I know I mentioned this earlier, but this is the diff out of a 79 pace car, and I actually did confirm for sure that this is a 3.42 to 1. You can see my tape that I was using to get the ratio, which is actually kind of a bitch. If you don't know how to do it, you'll F it up. I did. So that's kind of where the car is at right now. I'm very happy because the paint is done. It has brakes that work, which is great because it didn't when I bought it, so that's a good thing for me. And then next steps immediately, I'm just buttoning up the front suspension. When I got this, it was all kinds of wonky, and I've pretty much sorted it all out. It's not a big deal to finish it. The cotters on the tie rods, I've replaced those. One second. As well, I've made sure everything's tight. I've taken apart the front hub bearings and cleaned them and repacked them. You know, obviously the brakes are working. I've replaced the ball joint on this side. It was really bad, and O'Reilly's, shout out to you guys suck, gave me the wrong ball joint on this side, so I will have to replace that. And I have the part, so I'm going to probably do that today, and that should be everything on the front end. At that point, I'll also have to tighten up that strut tower, but again, it's mostly done. So at that point, I have two good tires that came with this car. They are 235 R55 16s. So the two best tires will go on the rear, and then the other two front tires, I have some Kumo, whatever you call them, tires for the front rims. So the plan is that the two better tires will go on the back as far as the old ones, two new tires on the front. When the car is all up and going, and especially if we're about to add power to it, the rears will be changed to a Nitto DOT type slick. So that's that. Again, this car's really getting buttoned up. There's not a whole lot left that needs to be done before we're going to start running it and tuning it. The exhausts, I dropped those. It was a bitch. I'm going to buy, I sussed it out, and it's actually going to be a lot cheaper to simply purchase a new H pipe, and I'll show you what I'm talking about because it's pretty funky. They took what looked to be stock components and chopped them up into this ridiculous Frankenstein thing where it's going from what looks like a 2 1/4 or 2 1/2 union to like a 2 and back and into a quarter, into a half, and it's just a total mess. And I sussed it out. It's going to be a lot easier just to simply buy the H pipe that comes right off of the header, and then as it comes in, this is an X pipe, obviously, if you didn't know. Where this would be an X, the H pipes come right here to where the cat back would be on a stock system or modified system, whatever. That's when that next section would start. And so off of that, I'm going to take two Thrush Flowmaster, Cherry Bomb, glass packs, whatever you call them, you know what I mean, and flare them like this is flared, and just connect a glass pack to each side of it, and just call that a day, and obviously switch over the O2s. Now the rear O2s will get deleted, or I will put the wideband in one of these when I delete them. But again, first things first, take it step by step. So once the exhaust is done and the tire situation's figured out, it has brakes, and we're going to start putting the fuel system in, and she'll run. There's no reason why not. Also, just kind of going through and looking at the soft lines and what will need to be done. Like, I'm going to get a breather for this PCV. This is not jacked up. It looks like it is, but it isn't. This all goes together. As well, I found on eBay, because I want to convert this car to E85, obviously we're going to need bigger lines, boost, you know, all that kind of stuff. Again, I like to set myself up for success, not go cheap, and then at the end of the day I'm like, oh man, I need to do that again. So I found these adapters that go from these weird Ford AC type connectors to I believe it's a -8 and -6 AN line. So that'll be really good, and we'll be able to run from there under the wheel well, as was stock. And you see I have the plastic off to be able to do that, all the way back under the car. Get those self-tapper hangers, zoop, from the back, and we have our hole right there. 22-gallon alcohol compatible fuel cell, Walbro 300 LPH right there, and we'll just route the return back through there. So that'll be good. And at that point, once everything is buttoned back up at the top and it has fuel, it should start. The PATS key is not correct, so I actually have another ECCIV from a non-PATS Crown Victoria. So if that doesn't work, we'll be getting a Sniper Wolf Special Delta. What is it? Delta Force Sniper Wolf Special Sniper. Their names are ridiculous, but they make really, really good products. That is actually a standalone plug-in ECU. It'll give us full control over the car and be able to tune it, etc., for E85 and just generally for boost, everything. So that's kind of a cry once buy once. They're not that expensive. They're like $360. So right now in the car I have roughly $1,300, and to actually get it running and driving, I'll probably have another $1,000 to $1,200. So we're going to be at roughly $2,500 when it's all said and done for now. And then obviously want to get the boost on there for as cheap as possible, because remember, this car's going places, right? It's not it is the blue bomb, but now it's the gray bomb. I don't know what to call it. If you're watching this and you have a name for it, I'm more than happy to hear it. So this is the update video. Going forward, I'll definitely try to get you more stuff. Just buttoning up. So thanks for watching, and subscribe if you haven't.